Hello on this fine, sunshiny day that is Monday, May 13th. Um, I'm on here today to do a do over of our calendar review. The one I did last time was way too long. I was way too tired. And besides that, I have made a few changes since then. Um, my plan is to be much more brief today, but thorough. Okay, first off, thank you for getting in your what am I trying to say? Your May 15th deadline, June plans, whether or not you're opting out or not. Most of you have heard from you. So thank you for that. If I haven't heard from you, you have 2 more days. And then just so you know, the week after the recital, that's when we're going to finalize our summer plans. So that'll be that. Enjoy your last year being able to customize June, July, and August, and being able to customize in general, because that's about to finish. That's about to be a thing that's of the past around here. Okay, that's one of the main reasons for me making this video. Is I need you guys to be aware of some significant changes that are going to change what you've been used to. Okay, so all right. First off, let's take you to the updates on my website, just so you can get an idea of what's going on here. Okay, as you know, registration is year-round. I take people at any time. Breaks are scheduled into the school year. Okay, there are 11 weeks off in the upcoming September to August school year. Okay, so that's kind of new as far as it being scheduled in. Okay. For best value and results, I strongly recommend you take them as outlined in the school calendar. Okay. Yes, you will still be able to, dip out if you need to, but if you decide to do such a thing, you have to be unlinked from me in your Simply Music piano account. Okay, so what does that mean? It means that you can still access materials that you've paid for, but you won't be able to go ahead. That's part of what that means. I'll get more into that as we go along. Okay, and so you can see on the left-hand side is the current pricing, and on the right-hand side is what the pricing is going to be effective September 2024. Individual lessons are going up. There's different pricing for Simply Music Gateway students. Gateway students are students who take the music therapy version of Simply Music. They are intended for neurodivergent students. Adult students also have a different individual lesson rate. Okay, just kind of the nature of the beast, if you will. Okay, as for group lessons, the price that you're used to paying now is what you'll pay. So classes are longer for groups. They're 50 minutes, 50 so as to allow enough time for students to leave and students to come in. My driveway only has so much room, so that's why they're 50-minute classes. But we can get it all done. We can get a lot done actually in groups, more than you might think. Voice lessons. They're voice lessons. I'm calling them voice lessons now. As of next year, I'm really referring to them as vocal coachings. Okay. So there's a reason for that you're going to see below. Okay. What's not, here's something that's not changing. It's still this way now. It's always been this way. It always will be. So you're going to commit on a month-to-month basis for lessons. You're not in an annual contract. The student's lesson day and time is the same every in-session week. So as of September 2024, lessons will be invoiced exactly as per our schedule, no exceptions. Makeups are available on, oh, there's a typo there. Makeups are available as scheduling permits. The word on should not be there. Okay. So Simply Music Piano headquarters is changing their entire website, their entire everything and how they do things. They're aggregating and streamlining everything so that any students who are enrolled in lessons with me, right, or with any Simply Music piano teacher, they are going to automatically charge me for royalties instead of what they've been doing up until this point, which is allowing me to say, hey, so-and-so took 2 lessons this month. This person took 3 lessons this month. This person took 4. This person took 5. And I can customize, which is why I've been able to customize for you. I can just report it to them as such, because it's true, right? But because they're streamlining, because they're creating all new, they have to update their site and it has to work with the new technology that's out there today, with AI and with all the advancements that we now have. And also the fact that they want to expand. Whenever you're trying to get bigger, you have to streamline. You have to have one system that everyone follows. You can't customize for hundreds of people. So we have to follow suit. I have to follow suit as a studio owner. I can't have everyone be on a different schedule. So going forward, it's going to be no exceptions. Everybody will be invoiced as per the schedule of my studio as far as when we're open, not based on when you're available. So you're billed for lessons for those weeks, okay? And that's just the way it's going to be. Okay. Anything else that needs to be said here? Understanding how voice lessons work around here. So voice lessons are really vocal coachings, okay? I'm only going to be offering them in a 1-hour format, okay, to allow adequate time for deep coaching. Voice lessons or coachings with me is not sing-along story time. It is intense work. That's the idea, that we work, that we coach, and that we go. Let's go. That it's actually my area of expertise and specialty. So that is that. So it's they're intended for serious coachable singers, okay? In most cases for ages 16 and up. For young students ages 7 and up who just want to sing in general, which is usually the case, the most appropriate place for them to be is in my choir on Monday evenings. So yeah, I can go into that in more detail if you want me to. I'm not going to for the purpose of this live, but that's the brief of it. I just wanted you to understand why lessons were only for one hour and why they're $75 and who they're for. Okay, moving along. So it makes for a much better policy thing to agree to for next year. I'll just go over, I'll read off the new ones So new, I will be billed for all lessons for all weeks when lessons are offered, regardless of my ability to attend. I can arrange for a makeup for any missed weeks. Okay. New lessons are scheduled and paid month to month. Should I decide to skip a month, I understand that my spot will not be held without payment. By skipping a month, I am agreeing to forfeit my lesson time for that month and potentially onwards. Okay. So you can skip, but then what will happen is Simply Music Piano students, if you skip a month, the student's account will be unlinked. So I'll unlink you, which means the student will only be able to access previously paid for resources, as I mentioned earlier. And this is so that royalties will not be charged to Ebb and Flow Music Studio by Simply Music Piano headquarters for lessons that aren't happening. So how should you understand all of this? You're either in or you're out. You're here for the scheduled and you will be billed for the scheduled lessons, or you won't be, right? Obviously, people get sick. That's never going to stop happening, including for me. I'm trying to stay as well as possible. I had a pretty good year. Dodged a few bullets as far as getting sick is concerned, but there were a couple times I did have to cancel. In those instances, I always guarantee that I will make up. I am unable to guarantee that I will make up for when a student cancels. But as you know, you know that I always make an effort to make up for you guys. If I can, I will, and I'll always try my hardest. But I don't promise it because of schedules and because there's many of you, right? So makeups are harder to coordinate than you might think. Okay. Now I want to take you over to the calendar so you can see what's happening. Okay. So here's the calendar. The first week of September, we are not in session because it's first week back to school, as well as it falls on Labor Day weekend. It's kind of like the end of summer. So that's why historically I have not been open the first week back to school as a courtesy to all of you. Okay, now here's the schedule for next year. If you were aware of the schedule before, you want to still listen up because I made a couple changes. Okay, so Simply Music piano lessons are going to be happening on Mondays from 3 to 5, Tuesdays from 3 to 8, Wednesdays from 3 to 8, and Thursdays from 9:30 to 1:30. Okay? For my homeschoolers. This time is already booked. There will be no evening lessons available on Thursdays, okay? So for the rest of you, really, lessons happen on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, okay? And Fridays are reserved for vocal coachings. So between not only the price shift, that's not the main reason, although it's a good reason. Everybody needs to save a buck or two. Between the price shift and the time available, it is strongly recommended, and it's good for the student as well, that you sign up for groups, okay? This is another reason I'm telling you all of this now and not waiting until 2 weeks before September. I need you all to start thinking about what do you want as far as lesson times. You should maybe try to pick out 3 different time blocks that would work best for your family and let me know, because with groups, I need to put students in the appropriate groups. I can't have a Foundations 4 student with a Foundations 1 student. It's too big of a gap. I'll get into more details as far as how that all works as we go, but I am going to be careful with regards to how many students are in a class. As for group lessons, how many students will be in a class? Anywhere from 4 to 5 students. I'll run a class with 3 students. If I need to, I'll run a class with 2 students. I don't plan on going larger than 5. Not this year. So yeah, the idea is that we round robin, okay? At the piano, there's lots we can do as a group as far as learning rhythm on our laps, etc., etc. Groups work really well. They're a dynamic, amazing experience. Okay, so once a month, I will have a Saturday as a designated makeup day in case it's needed, just so you know. Just to make up for the fact that I'm not going to be available for makeups on Thursday afternoons. I'm just not. So if it can't be made up on either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday, it's going to have to be scheduled into a Saturday that works, a Saturday afternoon. Or you just say, okay, we missed a lesson. That's going to be how that works. Everything else is the same as it's been this past year. Otherwise, oh boy, okay. It's weird how that all skipped ahead like that. Okay. So I'm not gonna blah, blah, blah. I'm just gonna show you when the breaks are. We'll run the first 2 weeks in December. We won't run the last 2 weeks of December or the first week of January. Okay, so that's like 3 weeks in a row that we're closed. You will not be charged for lessons when we're not in operation. Okay. We continue on. Generally speaking, we're always closed on stat holidays or holidays observed by the public schools because it's just easier to organize ourselves that way. As you know, we're usually closed March break. We are this year as well. We always will be. What else? May through May. Last Saturday in May is always our recital. I'm pretty sure I'm just going back for a second to see when I scheduled the December one. Yeah, first week in December 7th. So I'll keep skipping ahead to show you. So we left off in May. Okay, in June, we'll be closed the last 2 weeks of June. And here's how we're going to structure summer. So I decided the best course of action for scheduling breaks, because everyone needs them in the summer. Everyone takes them, so they should. I need them too. But I just don't want to run into not seeing you, my students at all in the summer, because then September makes for a rocky start to the year, and makes for a rocky first quarter of the year, to be honest. And we don't want that. I want the students to be getting full value out of classes. So we do have a break the last 2 weeks of June and the first week of July. And the reason for here is I've decided to create breaks around long weekends. So Canada Day is July 1st. So it makes sense, in my opinion, to be closed the week before and the week after. That's the way we're going to do that. That's a good time to break. Let everybody settle into their summer, and then we'll have 3 weeks of classes in July that year. Then we're coming into Natal Day weekend. So we close the last week of July and / first week of August and the week after that. We're only open for 2 weeks in August. So I'm not asking for a big time commitment in the summer, 5 weeks, but I'm letting you know now. Anyone can leave anytime, right? I've created it so that you can. However, there's always repercussions for that, okay? I'm going to allow my people who stay in the summer to have first pick of lessons for the following year. It's only fair. It makes total sense. So I just need you to be aware of that as much as you are paying for lessons, you are paying for time. As you can see, time is highly valuable and limited in the world of piano lessons because of when kids are available after school, right? So there's only so much time after school. So time is valuable. You're paid for a very specific, you're paid, sorry. You're not paid, sorry about that. But you're paying for a specific time to be set aside for you every single week, just as much as you're paying for the lesson itself. That's kind of included in the price, okay? So that's that. That's all I have. This is much shorter, I believe, than it was last time. That was part of my goal. If you watched the first one and got all the way through it, bravo, but also my deepest apologies and my condolences. Because it wasn't my best work. So, headquarters made changes, therefore we made changes, and these changes are going to stick for the ongoing years ahead. Oh, I'm under half an hour. This is what I wanted. I hope you can make sense of everything. I might have talked a little choppy, but you can see everything on the website if you're unsure of anything. I can also send you the updated policy forms for next year to help you make sense of things. Go ahead and browse through the calendar in your own time. But I think I'm otherwise clear on what the changes are and why they are. If not, I'm always available to chat in person or email preferably. You can call me if you want. I'm not very reliable for picking up the phone, if I'm truthful. But we can definitely chat anytime you wish. All right, folks. I'm going to end this 23-minute session. Thanks for watching. I hope everything is clear. And like I said, reach out to me if not. Take care. Have a fabulous spring and summer.